Would I be able to see how many views from the live stream?
Dr. Fatih will, I think Dr. Fatih will know that.
Yeah, I'll inform later.
Yeah, she's
I
in
would
charge of
invite as
the.
many as possible to open the camera so that we can see each other. That would be good. I can see many participants here.
Yes, yes.
Almost 40 plus.
I think we should have like about 100 of students coming in.
Oh.
Okay. So yes, I think probably they just finish their Friday prayers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're still going to start at 2:30, yeah? Point City.
Okay, sure.
Teddy, are you saying
Yes.
anything? Okay.
What?
So I just want to check your voice.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes,
Loud and clear.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. All right, can we start?
Sure, sure.
Okay. All right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our APB Career Webinar 2022 entitled Cultural Competence for Workplace Interaction, organized by Academy of Language Studies UiTM Cawangan Negeri Sembilan, Campus Kuala Pilah. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, I'm Muhammad Yadid Ashrai Hasanuddin, your moderator for today. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. First of all, to all participants, please turn off your microphone throughout the session. This is very important. Second, we are live on two platforms, which are Zoom and YouTube channel. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type your question in the chat box in the Zoom platform or comment section in our YouTube Live. For ELC students in our Zoom platform, you can unmute your microphone if you have any questions or opinion during the presentation with the speaker. Training hours for UiTM staff and e-certificate for all participants will be provided. Links for attendance and feedback form will be shared on both platforms at the end of the session. All slides, recordings, and documents will be shared via Google Classroom for ELC 650 students. Last but not least, don't forget that we will also have a photo session after the Q&A session. Please stay on for the photo taking session, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the session, I would like to welcome our distinguished speaker for our webinar today. Welcome, Puan Siti Khadijah Abdul Aziz. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, good. Thank you very much for inviting me. Yeah.
Thank you for your time to join us today, Puan Siti. Before we begin the session, let me first introduce our speaker for APB Career Webinar 2022. Puan Siti Khadijah Abdul Aziz is a public speaker, business presenter, and part-time teacher. Before she started her career, she was a teacher at University Islam Antarabangsa Sultan Abdul Halim Muazzam Shah, formerly known as College University Islam what is it for the end?
College University Insania, Queen.
Yes, Queen. College University Islam Insania, Queen, and Adni International School. As for now, she is currently working as senior editor with audit experiences within Malaysia, Asia Pacific, and even Americas region. Previously, she was holding a position in different departments in Petronas Group, namely governance and strategic relations as management executive officer, production and operation management as operational excellence executive officer, and a few more. All in all, she has almost 12 experience of working inside and outside Petronas. If I have to list down all of her achievements, I don't think it will be enough for us to listen to her sharing today. What an inspiring woman, Puan Siti Khadijah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure by now we are really looking forward to hearing what Puan Siti Khadijah Abdul Aziz is going to share with us. Without further ado, I'll pass the session to Puan Siti Khadijah to share with us on cultural competence for workplace interaction. Puan Siti Khadijah, the screen is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Yadid. Assalamualaikum, everyone. Can you hear me? Everyone can hear?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. So, Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. I know it's 2:35 in the afternoon of Friday, which I believe normally during Friday will be, people are quite leisure. And today we have, I won't say it's an adjunct lecture, but it will be a sharing session from my side. So I just want to keep it slightly informal so that we can have an interactive session between myself and also fellows audience. Um, I'm inviting anyone who would like to open your camera so that I can see who are from UITM, or maybe they are also from public who joined the session. Thank you very much.
So,
Myself and also fellows audience. Um, I'm inviting anyone who would like to open your camera so that I can see. Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Yadid, maybe you can turn on the slide, the first slide. Okay. Okay. Maybe can make it into slide mode. Okay. So I'm very honored. Thank you very much to UITM for organizing this event and inviting me to give a little bit experience sharing on this particular topic. I find it very interesting and attractive to talk about cultural competence for workplace interaction. Like Mr. Yadid introduced just now, I'm Siti Khadijah Abdul Aziz, SKAA, okay, from Petronas Group Internal Audit. Like Mr. Yadid has mentioned just now, I have several experience. Before I joined Petronas, I'm a little bit in educational area, and then I moved to Petronas as management officer as well as auditor. So, okay, maybe we can go to the next slide on what will be the presentation outline for today. I just want to keep it simple so that we can bouncing ideas, we can talk among each other. So I don't talk about the jargons in Petronas. So there are only three things that I would like to walk you through for today. The first one is on the introduction. Number two is on the sharing experience. Based on my sharing, based on the experience I have, maybe I can give you a little bit of a case study where we can learn and replicate in our future exposure in working, especially for the students. And the last one will be the key takeaway. Okay, Mr. Yadid, maybe you can go to the next slide. Okay, so number one, objective of sharing session. I would just like to make it clear to everyone that for today, I'm not going to teach you any English professional lesson. I'm not here as a lecturer to give you the theoretical part of what does the losing phase or saving phase mean, or what should be the right punctuation, or what are the right words to be used when you are doing the professional presentation. But what more important is basically sharing experience based on what I have so far. Okay. So I would like to listen maybe some expectation from the floor. Maybe anyone from UITM. I would love to see any students from UITM who can turn on the camera and give me some feedback on the expectation that you would like to hear from this sharing. Maybe anyone? Uh, Maybe we can pick up two. Wow, I can see many faces. Thank you. Anyone would like to say something?
Yes,
Uh,
student. Anyone? If you have any opinions on or your expectations towards the talk, maybe you can share with us. What are the hope that you can share with our speaker today, Puan Siti Khadijah?
Maybe Nur Sharafana, you would like to say something? Maybe you
Well,
can introduce yourself, slightly introduce yourself, where you're from, your background study, and yeah, your expectation from this lesson.
Hello, Assalamualaikum everyone. So, you know, can you hear me?
Sure,
Yes, yes,
loud
we
and
can
clear.
hear you loud and clear.
So, my name is Nur Sharafada binti Mustafa and I am from UITM Sawangan Pahang campus Jengke. For my expectation, I think I'm really excited to wait what can I get from this session lah.
Okay, so you are in
Okay.
what year right now, and which course you are from? Maybe you can share a little bit about your course that you're studying in UITM. Mhm.
So I am in the second year right now, and I am from um, Bachelor of Science, Furniture Technology.
I see. Thank you very much.
Okay,
So,
welcome.
you'll be expecting to do your internship maybe in the near future, I believe. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay. So maybe I can hear from another audience. Perhaps, yeah, anyone who is turning on the camera now. I can see just now someone. Nur Shuhaila. Maybe you want to say something?
Yes, I
Okay.
Okay, my
So,
expectation from this webinar is I hope I can get more information how do I uh, manage uh, my career at the workplace that I'm not familiar with. So I get more in this webinar.
thank you very much. Nur Shuhaila, may I know which background you are in now? What you are learning in UiTM?
I'm learning same as Nur Sharfana. I learn furniture technology at ITMJ Kepahang.
Okay, so you're also in second year, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I think thank you very much for the feedback. Uh, at least I can get some ideas from the floor. What are exactly the expectation from this sharing session? Maybe in near future, most of you are going for internship, and after that you will be graduating and joining the industry, either be in the government sector or the private sector. So I would like to share a little bit of my experience being in the corporate world. And let's go through the second slide on organization overview. Maybe Mr. Yadid, you can click on that. Okay, boleh. Okay. This is a slight high level introduction about Petronas organization worldwide. So Petronas exists in approximately around 80 countries around the globe. Okay, so there are highly in the Southeast Asia Pacific, okay, Southeast Asia continent, Asia Pacific. We also have our regional offices in the Europe, in the South Africa, South Americas, and some other places. Okay, so this is national oil company. So actually, we are all belong to this national oil company, I would say, because we are government-linked company. We also have a contribution to the government. As you might always listen from the apa belanjawan ke apa kan, there will be a dividend that Petronas have to pay to the government on annual basis. So that's a little bit about Petronas. So in terms of gender distribution, we have approximately around 72% basically male staff, yeah, and we have around 28% female. And this information you can get from Petronas website, www.petronas, and this information is updated as at 2020. So as of 2022, we can still be using this information, okay, as long as they have not revised that. Okay. In total, we have approximately around 48,000 employees around the world. So you can imagine how would be the daily interaction between the employees in managing the business worldwide. Okay. If you look at the left, there's a breakdown of employees. So that spell out the weightage of this employees distribution. So the highly employees distribution is basically at the Asia area, which is 84%, followed by the Africa, 6.7%. Okay, so we have our regional office in South Sudan, in Mauritania, Angola, and so on. Okay, and followed by other countries. For example, the Commonwealth independent states, we have Petronas LNG Canada, we have Brunei. Okay, we have in the Europe. Okay, most of the regional office are basically Petronas lubricant. Yeah. Hmm. Maybe Mr. Yadid can zoom into the slide that we have here, Malaysia asset. You can click on the white one. Yes. Okay. So we now zoom further into Malaysia asset operation. These are basically how does Petronas operate in Malaysia. We are segregated into three. Number one is the upstream, number two, downstream, and number three, gas and new energy. So if you look at the map here, those facilities which resided at the offshore side, nah, kita kata luar tanah, which is the sea side, okay, the ocean side. So those are upstream operation where we do the exploration of resources, we do the drilling, we extract crude, gas, condensate from the subsurface, seabed, reservoir, and then we transmit it to the onshore facility. We have many refineries facilities in Malaysia. We have LNG processing plant, we have petrochemical plants. You can see those colors on the apa tu Malaysia map tu kan. And we have the transmission line, okay, where we transmit the gas power to power plant. Okay? And the last one is the gas and new energy. Uh, and all this information you can also get from Petronas public website, www.petronas.com, under Malaysia Petroleum Management, where I worked before this. Okay, so slightly about myself, like Mr. Yadid has mentioned just now, I have worked. Okay, my education background is basically electrical instrument. Okay, but when I joined in Petronas, I explore more on the governance side. Okay, business strategy involving in Malaysia and international initiative, as well as audit around the globe. Okay. So so far, is there any question that you like to ask about my working experience or about Petronas? Ada ke siapa-siapa yang nak tanya? Okay. If not, we can go to the next slide, Mr. Yadi. You can just click on next. Okay. So now it comes to what is cultural competence mean to me. Okay. After we have listened about the organization that I'm working with, and based on what you have learned in your lecture, in your classroom, with regards to cultural competence. Normally, when we heard the word culture, what it will cross to our mind? Maybe anyone would like to give your opinion about what does culture mean? Ada tak anyone? I saw this Cassie Luga. Cassie Luga would like to say something? Appreciate if you can turn on your camera, introduce yourself, and yeah, what does cultural competence mean to you? Okay, maybe Cassie having some technical issue. Maybe we can go to next one. Who can I see here? Ideal. Ideal Hafizi. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Maybe you want to say something, give your feedback about what does culture mean to you.
For me, culture means that things that maybe we need to follow if we go to the company. It means like every company have their own culture regarding the way they work, maybe like the working balance over there. So I think that's what means cultural means to me lah when work in terms of working place.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Adil. A good response from your side. Is there anyone else that would like to say something about uh, culture in workplace? How about Awadah? Awadah Zafirah. So, okay, mungkin itu pun ada technical glitch ke kan? Cannot turn on the mic. Let's hear from Muhammad Kushairi. Yeah. What does culture competence mean to you? Hmm. Okay, it's okay. Okay, I talk. What does culture competence mean to me? Okay, based on the readings that we can go through, there are a lot of books that talk about culture competence, and when I try to merge with the experience that I have gone through, these are the three elements that I can observe when it comes to cultural workplace. It will be related to understanding differences and accepting diversity. So, culture is something to do with diversity. It is not limited to ethnicity, nationality. It is beyond that. And we can always observe the diversity and the differences can always be observed in many ways. Okay, so for example, in terms of languages, because there are a lot of nationality, there are different ethnicity, hence language could be a barrier. Okay, so in order for us to mitigate that, we have a common language that we use, which is English. So don't feel embarrassed or feel inferior to just pick up English when you are at workplace, because you just have to think that others might also using English as their second language. And if you're traveling, for example, to other countries, you can always think that that is their language and they only have one language to talk. Well, you yourself, you have your second language or more that you can always promote to others. Okay. Number two that you can see is from the human expression. Culture competence also relate to human expression. Okay, because of the diversity coming from different background, how you was brought up, how uh, how certain ethnicity or nationality accept certain things. Maybe like we see Malaysian, we are a community that easily apa tu kita kata happy, or we can make jokes. We are quite pleasing in a way when we meet people, especially for some northern parts of Malaysia or the Sabah Sarawak, kan. We are more to accepting when we mingle with people in public. But in certain countries, people are maybe, quite reserved on certain things. So, for example, if you meet a person for the first time, maybe there are things that it is quite sensitive to be asked, okay, which can you can see from the reflection of the human expression. And number three is from social activity. This may also relate to religious per se. For example, as a Muslim, we might have certain limitation when it comes to social activity. If we go to any organization, yeah, international organization, they might be having some company events that is slightly different from the way we usually practice, for example, or when there are situations that you yourself need to organize an event, so you need to be creative in managing and let people involve. So it's all about social activity. Okay. So in terms of diversity, I just leave it blank. I believe you guys can answer. What does diversity mean to you? Maybe anyone would like to say what does it cross to your mind when you heard the word diversity? Raja Zulfadli, maybe you want to say something? What is diversity that you can think of? Or maybe Nur Aini Sakinah. I would love. Okay, we have Muhammad Shafi'i. Okay, Muhammad Shafi'i, you like to say something? The more people who open the camera would be better. Then
Okay,
your teacher can, your lecturer can give extra point for you guys.
give it a try. About
Okay.
when we talk about diversity, it's about a variety of culture lah. When you say international company, so there's a variety of backgrounds of people from other
Mhm.
country.
Okay, okay. So diversity in terms of what? Okay, culture. So what aspect of diversity? Kita kata apa? When you see a person, what will you think of that person? For example, like I look at you. Okay, what race are you? You're a Malaysian. How old are you? Kan? Uh, where is your hometown? So from there, I can guess your background. Kan? Where are you schooling? From there, I can guess how you was brought up, for example. Kan? So even different states can somehow give a slightly different apa tu? Different interaction when you talk, you mingle with people. Kan? Okay. So diversity could be in terms of age, gender. We're talking about Gen Y, Gen Z, who are very technical savvy in nature. When you just give an iPad, you know where to click the button. Give you a laptop, you know what to do to make a slides, videos, and so on. But if we compare to baby boomers, uh, the older generation, okay, the senior generation, I would say. So in an organization, our management are normally the baby boomers generation. So how does they adapt with the um, technical experience around us, technology? Yeah? So that's also something that we can learn from the senior. Okay. To be cultural competence, I observe there are four common key elements across the industry. Okay, like myself, I'm coming from oil and gas industry. I did ask Mr. Yadi and some of other lecturer what is the background of our students today. I understand that some are from Bachelor of Chemistry, and there are some from a Bachelor Biology, okay, Technology, Science and Technology, okay, Furniture Technology. So in the end of the day, when we enter the working life, I would say, sometimes you might find that you might not be applying what you have learned. For example, you are in science and technology or chemist. You think that, okay, when I graduate or when I do my intern, I will go to uh, lab, for example, yeah, do some research in lab. But suddenly, when you apply, you got uh, something that relates to business admin or medical line, hospital, for example. So how do we adapt with our working environment? Okay. So when I observe this different industry, for example, food industry, medical industry, oil and gas industry, science technology industry, even furniture or um, many others, there are four common elements that we can always observe, which is SKAA. Number one is the skill. Number two, knowledge. Number three, awareness. And number four is the attitude. So when we talk about the skill, it reflects the competency of delivering business target. So skill might be something that relates to what is your core study, what is your core job. For example, you say I'm studying Bachelor of Chemist. So I'm studying chemistry. I have to go to lab. I have to know certain formulas. I have to be very deep dive in calculation and so on. So that's your skill. That is your core skill. But when you go into working life, there is another part which is the soft skill. And soft skill always relate to communication skill. In our day-to-day activity, we can't avoid from communicating with people. Mm. Okay, and number two, knowledge. So knowledge, in order to be brilliant at basic. Why I say brilliant at basic, it's always about everything around us. When you get into an organization, okay, what should I do? I need a skill. In order for me to have the skill, I need to acquire knowledge. So knowledge can be in many forms, in terms of having a lot of reading, a lot of research. Even if you watch movies, you can see the difference from the Asian movies, the Korean movies, and Hollywood, Bollywood, and so on. So that's also actually help out you when you interact with people. And I love to see, when I look at the social media, the young generation now, they are very good in taking opportunity. For example, like we know the generation now, many apa likes the K-pop, kan? And some take that as an opportunity for them to further study in Korean, to understand their culture, to understand their language. Even some have been working in those countries. Okay? And number three is about awareness, observation, consciousness, self-assessment of surrounding environment. Okay, this one is more related to ourselves. The number one and number two is a bit academic, where you need to acquire skill and knowledge being based on certain rulers. But when it comes to awareness and attitude, it is always about ourselves. Yeah? Uh, so we can go to the next page, Mr. Yadi. Okay. How does SKAA relate to Petronas culture belief? This is a little bit kind of a quiz that I just would like to, interact with you guys. Just now, I have explained in brief what does skill, knowledge, awareness, attitude mean. And in Petronas, we have this so-called Petronas culture belief. Okay, if you go to any organization, you will find that okay, we always have a target. What is our business target? In order for us to achieve that business target, all the community around this organization need to work in line. So in order to achieve that target, many of the organization create their own culture. So in Petronas, we call it Petronas culture belief. We have customer focus. Maybe you can zoom a little bit now, Mr. Yadid. Kita, tadi next. Previous. Okay, previous. I think you have to zoom via the slide version. There's a magnifier. Okay, it's okay. Can go. Okay. So these are the 5 Petronas culture belief. In case later on you'll be joining Petronas as an internship candidate, or maybe after you graduate, you like to try to apply in Petronas. So I would like to share you upfront. These are basically Petronas culture beliefs for now. Okay. Number 1 is culture, customer focus. I deliver solutions from the customer lens. Number 2, innovate now. I challenge norms and push boundaries. Number 3, be enterprising. I seek opportunities and make them happen. Number 4, speak up. I express my views openly. And number 5, courage to act. I take action to progress with pace. Okay, so it's um, it's a quiz time, I would say. I just would like to test any one of you to give your opinion about, okay, if you are in Petronas organization, which culture that you would like to to grab and hold in order for you to do your day-to-day activity. Maybe anyone would like to pick up one? Uh, can I have a feedback from Naim? Mr. Naim, can you turn on your camera and give some opinion? This afternoon session in Friday, it will be good if we can have a two-way communication. Yeah? So, because this is,
Totally
I
this.
can, maybe someone would like to say something.
Yes, students, if you have any questions or opinions, you can share with Puan Siti Khadijah. Don't worry. Like I said to all of you, you can practice your language here during this time.
Okay,
Maybe,
maybe,
maybe I should call somewhere for you, Puan Siti.
okay, thank you.
All right, Hani Fadia, can you share? You can unmute your microphone.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Hi.
Sorry.
Can you turn on your camera? I can't see you.
Okay. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
I think I would like to pick up the. I would like to pick up the speak up, and I want to express more. I want to express myself more.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yes.
Okay. So, when you talk about speak up, in the working environment, you will see at a certain certain point when you deliver your work in a teamwork, for example, there are points where you will be appraised. For example, at in the middle of the year or towards the end of the year, you will have your KPI and maybe your superior will measure. Okay, what will be tadi siapa nama? Farah Farah punya performance, or maybe the same superior in the same teamwork will then evaluate Balkish performance, for example. And because of less visibility of Balkish towards the superior, hence the superior think that, oh, Farah is doing more work compared to Balkish, for example. So Petronas culture belief encourage people to speak up so that everybody will have the equal or kita kata fairness in delivering our work, so that we have satisfaction in our work, be it from the employee side or even from the superior side. So when it comes to speak up, that's very good point that I think Farah tadi. Farah kan nama? Kan? Speak up just now. I just want to, apa? Farah
Honey.
Hani.
Honey, yeah.
Okay, so it's a good point that Hani pick up just now. I just want to share the way when we speak up. Okay, it is it is our culture in Malaysia. When we ask someone to speak, we will straight away speak. Can okay? Can you give me your opinion? Okay, in my opinion, uh, I think I will pick up this one. Straight again. So there is a way of talking in working environment which differentiate a person with another person. Okay. One thing that I can share is there are three things. When you communicate, you have your slight introduction. Number two is the data or information or analysis that you want to deliver. And number three is conclusion. Okay. Intro, slight intro. Number two is data, information, or analysis from information that you receive. And number three, you give a conclusion. Okay. In whatever we do, whether you're talking to your boss in a teamwork, for example, in a meeting, your boss asks you, okay, what's your opinion? Okay, hi boss. Just a little bit. I'm Khadijah. I'm basically doing this particular work on governance side. So when you're talking to me, okay, this one I'm just playing act, okay, and how I interact with my boss, okay. So when you're talking to me about this particular culture belief, I can see there are 5 things. But from my observation, when you say from my observation, you are actually analyzing the information in front of you. Okay. So macam tadi Hani will say, okay, based on Puan Siti punya explanation, I think I will speak up. And what is your conclusion? Conclusion is reasoning. Can be a reasoning, can be your opinion, can be your feedback that you receive from people around you. So like Hani said just now, okay, I speak up because I think I want to express views openly. Oh, that's good. Okay, thank you very much, Hani, for your participation. So with these particular tips, I would like to hear a little bit more from others. Can you try to pick up what would be the cultural belief that you would like to experience, and you practice the way of communication, the 3 things that I mentioned just now. Mungkin I can pick up another one. Who would like to try? Nampak Syafiqi macam si excited. You're very focused. Okay. Which Petronas culture belief that you like to pick up?
I think this time I will pick up the what we call it, the third one, be enterprising.
Okay.
But then we seek opportunities and make them happen, because in real life, I think that is the best thing to do.
In which background you are in, Syafiqi? What you're studying?
Chemical waste management degree.
Waste management, chemical waste management.
Yeah, yes.
Can you think of, you just imagine what company you might be joining in your intern
Uh,
period?
I'm joining with the what we call it oleochemicals processing.
Okay.
They process oleochemicals to make what we call it the feed for
Okay.
for crops.
Okay, that's good. So how do you think that BM enterprising can somehow bring yourself, make you blend with the company that you will be working, for example?
So in my experience with the company and at Pasir Gudang, I see what we call it. We as a lab assistant, we try to make our jobs easier because we need to take sample from the oil tanker and so on. From another project also, the lecithin project, and then so I create some new waste of work because we need to take
Okay.
samples in what we call it in a big size, so I need to carry a pill, but then it's my what we call it is the opportunities that I take.
Yeah, good.
So
That's good.
mostly my when I contact back my lab assistant, my friend,
Yeah.
my, my pill is still being used.
Oh, that's good. And you even practice other than Petronas culture belief here. You are courage to act. So you have done your intern. And
My diploma,
you
yes.
okay, you have your diploma and you connect back with the people that you have worked before.
Yes.
That can make you different or distinguish you with others. Okay, so that's one of the attributes that we can always think. Okay, when you look around, it's not like you're doing your study kan, you ada assignment, you buat apa how you're replicating, you're copying what your friend are doing. But in work, it's always about achieving target, it's always about performance. So in order to perform, what what are the attributes that can distinguish from one person to another, can so you can always relate back to these four common key element, and what will be the cultural belief in the organization that you'll be in. Okay. uh, Maybe Mr. Yadi, you can unzoom, you can make it into slideshow again. I just would like to test the understanding, the relationship between this SKAA with the organization that I'm working with. Do you think you can connect either skill or knowledge or awareness or attitude in any five of these culture belief? For example, if you say speak up tadi kan, okay, which element of this SKAA it might ties to? Okay, maybe I can hear from anyone here. Anyone would like to say something?
I think the speak up will go with the skill because we need skill to speak with our what we call it superior officer.
Okay, so you're talking about communication skill. Okay, that's good. Nice try. Anyone else would like to give your opinion? How does
I
this
think that
Petronas? Okay, can you introduce
okay,
yourself?
okay, wait a minute, yeah. Okay,
Tak nampak muka.
sekejap, eh.
Okay.
Okay. So can you see me right now?
Yes, yes. Hi Naim, how are you?
Okay. Hi. Hi, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, so I think based on the speaker, I think all of the skill, knowledge, awareness, and should have talking about cultural belief. Because if we're talking about knowledge first, we have to have the knowledge if we want to speak up something. The awareness, we need to have awareness on what we are going to speak and our circle. And the attitude, yes, we need to have attitude if we want to have speak a decent conversation with other people. That's my point lah.
Thank you very much, Naim. Good point. You try to elaborate the Petronas culture belief and relate it with the SKAA. Okay. Um, Actually, there is no right or wrong to this particular question that I'm throwing out to all of you. you can always think, what can I relate from each of these Petronas culture brief with the SKAE? For example, you are talking about customer focus. Okay, you have a target. Every year you have a target. So in order for you to achieve the target, you need your core skill in order for you to deliver your job. But at the same time, you have to interact with people. When you have to interact with people, you need to be aware of the diversity around you, the colleagues around you, and the superior around you in terms of age, in terms of nationality, ethnic background, and so on. And it will then force back to the attitude of a person. Can in the end of the day, you are the one who push yourself how you want to react to something. So it's about attitude. So you see how does the connection goes? Okay, so that's a little bit about culture competence. The next part of this sharing, maybe just quickly, Mr. Yadik can go to the next slide, is about uh, the real experience that I've been facing in Petronas. I just divided it into two case study. Case study number one is dealing with different nationality. So this is just some of the photos in the events or meetings that I've been dealing with. Like the top one, the top on the right. The top on the right is basically myself uh, with the team of Spaniard, Singaporean, and Indonesian. Yeah. The second one, the middle on the right, is basically a meeting um, that I have coordinated. Okay, I was a moderator for that particular meeting. It's between Malaysia Petroleum Management on behalf of Petronas with one of the investor, yeah, from Europe investor. And the bottom one on the right is just me and my colleague involving in Petronas corporate video. So we have also other nationality employees working together to establish or to produce Petronas corporate videos. Okay? And on the left is myself and my team working with Mr. Adam from the Europe, okay, in KL Convention Center. So, little bit about challenges, or what do you think would be the challenge when I deal with different nationality? Want to say something?
Yeah,
Challenges dealing with nationality. Yeah.
first thing must be the language.
Yep. That's good. That's a good example. Okay, maybe we can just focus on language. Okay, language barrier. Um, in some of us, we might think that okay, because English is my second language, so I feel a bit inferior in communicating. But when you communicate along the way, when you communicate with other countries, you would notice that some countries they're not fluent in speaking English, but they have their confidence. Uh, and what make them confidence is through preparation. Maybe they prepare what are the business that they want to talk about, and hence they just try. Okay, I can give another example. It's like the Japanese or Korean. In Petronas, we have PLL, uh, where we transmit or we sell gas, yeah, to Japan. For example, we have a meeting with the Japan. Some of them can communicate English, some they don't, but we can see that they well prepared attending the meeting. So either they communicate themselves or they bring their translator. Kan? So that could be number one. Other things that I can share, I don't have this photo inside here. When I was dealing with Oman, okay, it was in-country value initiative between Malaysia and Oman. So during that time, I have to deal with the ministry side. Okay, so from there, not only about language. Language is one thing. Another thing is about how I can see. It's about their attitude. If you compare the Asia people compared to maybe the Middle East, Asia people, the Southeast Asia, we are slightly workaholic compared to the Middle East. If you can see kan Middle East in the news, you know why the Europe always have war with the Middle East. We know these are very rich countries. Even their currency are more than the US. When I deal with Oman at that time, the exchange rate is RM 1 ringgit is equivalent to 10 Oman Rial. So it's even higher than USD. So you can see how lavish are they. When it comes to work, sometimes we are very pressing. We think that we are dedicated, but because of the barrier that we have, we cannot press people from other nationality to do their work. We send an email and we expect them to answer to us by tomorrow or this week. They can even take 1 month to reply to you. So what would it impact? What would be the impact in your working performance? Talk about performance. You set your KPI target and you know you will be dealing with the Middle East people compared to Southeast Asia, for example. So perhaps you want to have, okay, I'm going to the solutioning part. Perhaps you want to have a slightly relaxed target compared to when you deal with the Indonesian, for example, or with the Vietnam. Kan? That's one thing that I can give lah. Another thing is when tadi Shafi'i mentioned about language. Just be confident, speak up, be well prepared. Okay, that will be the solution part. Next, case study number 2. We just have few minutes to go before 3:30. Just the quick one, case study number 2. Mr. Yadid, maybe you can just click on the next slide. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, so case study number 2, dealing with different gender and ethnicity. So this is my real environment, working in audit. This was last year. Some are last year during the pandemic situation. Even people are staying at home kan during MCO. So I have to cross border. I have to do my quarantine in the offshore quarantine center. And yeah, kena meredah laut lah to go to the offshore platform. And for example, like in this situation, in this particular offshore complex, in approximately around 172 people on board, there are only 4 ladies. So how do we deal with this situation? Can? And plus, I'm a mom of 3. Can? So there are a lot of challenges that you can think of. The ladies would be able to trigger a lot of things. This is one of the challenge that I have undergone. I don't have my recorded helicopter underwater escape training at SECU Petaling Jaya, but you can watch this one from YouTube. It's just the same, the one that I've undergone. Maybe Mr. Yadid can just click on the video and make it full view. Not this one, the helicopter underwater. Okay, thank you very much. Maybe we can go back to the slide. Okay, just a quick one. It's already 3:30, but I hope that Mr. Yadid and the organizer allow me to go through a little bit of my slide, my remaining slide. Okay, so uh, dealing with different gender. Okay, ethnicity, I would say, because most of our platform are in offshore Sabah and Sarawak. So dealing with the technicians, many of them sometimes talk even their local negeri Sabah and Sarawak. Kan? So we need to learn a little bit about their dialect. Kan? That will be the challenge. But most important for ladies, challenge is always about safety. Hmm? About safety, it's about our physical, biological, physical as a ladies, and especially when you're married. How do you deal with this environment? How do you deal with the expectation from the organization? So before you join any company, you should be mentally well prepared on that. Okay. What if we don't manage our challenges properly? You know your challenge. You are in chemistry, for example, chemistry background, where maybe in one day you'll be working in a lab. So you already know the challenge. What if you don't think of what will be the impact if you don't overcome the challenge? Okay, maybe Cik Yadid can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is one of the real challenge that I face. Okay, impact. What can went wrong? Performance impact and also HSE, safety impact. Uh, on the left is my photo with my team. I think somewhere in 2015, under when we were on board at Labuan and Brunei Water during that time. It's a drilling rig. This is under Valesto Naga 7. So we are like 1 hour meter away from the onshore. So I can see like 100 kilometer away from onshore. So we already been equipped with all SOP to ensure safety at work. If if I'm complacent at that time, yeah, anything could happen to me. But Alhamdulillah, I was safe in 2015. When I came back for BOSET, we call it the offshore training, the one that you saw just now. Last year, I get to know that this Naga 7 already punched through. It's already sunk. 3rd May 2021. Maybe Cik Yadid can click on Naga 7 punch through sang. Punch through and sang. Yeah, you see, Valesto Naga 7. This is the one that I was in 2015. But this punch through, maksudnya dia tenggelam lah. Tenggelam terus buried for good. Last year, because of some seabed issue. So it's all about challenges in working environment. When we are on the rig, on the drilling rig, we are dealing with a lot of people. Mostly guys. There are few ladies on board. We are from different background, different nationality. Like Valesto Naga 7 drilling rig was previously from Panama flag, and then transferred to Malaysia flag. Okay. So this what happened in 2021, and what if in 2015 I was complacent in whatever that I do? Things can happen, and perhaps I can be one of the one of the victim. And next link, Cik Yadi, boleh can go to the next link. Okay.
Penanda virtual boy dipasang di kawasan pelantar minyak Velesto Naga 7 yang tenggelam di perairan Miri bagi memastikan komuniti perkapalan tidak menggunakan laluan itu ketika ini. Jurucakap Jabatan Laut Malaysia berkata, satu pasukan penyiasat ditubuhkan oleh Jabatan Laut Wilayah Sarawak bagi menjalankan siasatan lanjut punca kejadian pelantar minyak berkenaan tenggelam. Kejadian berlaku ketika kerja pramuatan di salah satu kaki pelantar minyak Velesto Naga 7. Kejadian berlaku Isnin lalu di 139 batu nautika dari Miri. Pelantar milik Velesto Energy Berhad telah mengalami kebocoran sekaligus menyebabkan kedudukan pelantar itu condong dari kedudukan asal. Jabatan Laut Wilayah Sarawak yang dimaklumkan mengenai kejadian itu segera membuat tindakan susulan. Seramai 101 kru meninggalkan pelantar minyak itu menggunakan kapal OSV Perdana Marathon dan armada Tuah 305 sebelum pelantar itu tenggelam pada kedalaman hampir 100 meter. Semua kru terbabit diarah menjalani kuarantin wajib COVID-19. Semua kru dilaporkan selamat dengan tiada sebarang kecederaan dan tiada tumpahan minyak dikesan.
Okay, so we back to the slide. So this is among the real situation that I have undergone during my experience working with the National Oil Company. So I hope that, by seeing this video, also, although I can't bring you to Petronas facilities, but at least you can feel how critical the environment that we are working in, how critical communication, interaction at workplace when it comes to crucial work, and how does it impact when we face all these challenges. It's a real impact that you can see. It's a reputation impact to the organization that working. You can see even the news goes to the national news and even international news in Thailand, in Europe, and so on. Okay, and of course, it also impact performance of those people who are working on the rig. But Alhamdulillah, it doesn't impact me lah at that time again. And we have to always think of what will be the solution to the challenges that we are facing. I can't give you a straight answer, this and that, because we might be in different background. But at least from this sharing session, it can triggers you. What is the best solution that I can do when I face this situation? Okay, so I think the last slide, Mr. Yadi. Okay, can go to next. Okay, key takeaway that I would like to again emphasize and recap the 4 key elements in achieving good deliverable and superior result. Okay, you remember my name, Siti Khadijah Abdul Aziz, SKAA. So skill, knowledge, awareness, attitude. Can you click to the this Kung Fu Panda punya slide there? Okay. So in one of the scene in Kung Fu Panda, it's a conversation between Po and his master, Ugwe, and the turtle. So Ugwe said to Po, in life, we always think about what happened yesterday, what will happen in the future, but it's now. Okay? Now you are listening to these sharing sessions. Okay? Yesterday was history, and the future. You're going for internship. You're going to apa tu? Acquire new job, okay, acquire new opportunity, okay, in the future. Future is mystery. We don't know what will happen next. But today is a gift. Hence why it is called present. So I hope that whatever that I shared with you will be a present for you, and this will be the key takeaway for all of you. Thank you very much. Next slide, Mr. Yadi. So thank you for your passion. Okay. So I pass back the screen to Mr. Yadi. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Puan Siti Khadijah. It is indeed enlightening and insightful sharing session with us just now. I hope all of our students and viewers are enjoy and learn new information on culture competence for workplace nowadays. So this can help the students to prepare themselves to enter their workplace later, inshallah. So now we have come to the question and answer session. Okay. So students, if you have any questions to our speaker, Puan Siti Khadijah, I still cannot see any questions from our students. They are quite passive this afternoon, Puan Siti Khadijah. So if you have any questions, okay, you can unmute your microphone, or you can also just type in the chat box. Okay. If you have any questions regarding culture competence, uh, culture competence for the workplace interactions. Yeah. Okay. I think I have one question for you, Puan Siti Khadijah. Um, how do you demonstrate culture competence for workplace interaction without unintentionally stereotyping? Because we tend to stereotype certain people just by judging them at their appearance or physicals, not even the way they're working. So how are you going to demonstrate in a positive way or positive behavior in order for you to avoid the stereotypical stereotyping towards other people, especially your colleagues, like if you like looking at their physical, the way they wear, the attire that they're wearing, you just straight away judge them. Oh, okay, I don't like this person. So how are you going to at least advise these students, to like not stereotype or generalize this kind of uh, physicality or material outside from the person?
Thank you,
Uh,
Mr. Adit. Thank
yeah,
you to the audience who posted this question. It's
yeah.
really a good question.
Uh,
I'm not sure whether my answer will be a best question. It's always a subjective answer to any of the question. But I just would like to for everyone to just look at me. If you look at me, do you think that I'm I'm working with Petronas and going to offshore? If you ask me that question, perhaps even others can be stereotype to me. Kan?
true,
Looking at me,
true.
mungkin orang kata, ustazah ni kot. Kan? Mengajar okey lah kan. Mengajar dekat Queen. Betul lah. I was a power electronic tutor previously in Queen. So it's Islamic environment. Okay.
Mhm.
Adni. Okay. Kan? But
Mm.
when we go into the giant national oil company, dealing with many peoples and many guys, I would
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
how do I have to adapt? And it's just the same. How does people reaction toward me? But in the end of the day, we have to always think that goes back to the first point that I say. When you when you encounter a diversity, it's always about finding similarities. Okay. So try to to apa to educate ourselves lah kan when we look at anybody. What are the similarities that I can find between myself and another person so that we can avoid the stereotype punya mindset tu lah.
Yes, yes,
That yeah.
yes. All right.
I hope that I hope that I satisfied lah kan. Although
Uh, but yeah, I think our students need to know that stereotyping, generalizing all people to their physicality is not a good way for you to start working in the having a good interaction with your colleagues in order for you to have a
betul.
good communication. All right, so yeah, I can see now there. I mean, like after like being I mean, like, prompting that to give questions once together. I think like there are few questions coming in. All right, so there is a question coming from Amalia Zahri. She asked, how do you tell your colleagues that you don't like how they done their work without hurting their feelings? Or maybe you can share your experience that you have even encounter those issues that you don't like the way that she works, but how are you going to inform that person
Yep, yep.
nicely?
Mhm. Okay. Just a little bit of tips. When it comes to communicate with our colleagues, or even anyone around us, be it management or even the authorities body. And when we encounter certain abnormally, there is always a venue for us to speak up. But uh, what I can say is, in terms of choice of word that we are using when we communicate with a person, always maybe I would suggest we can start with a positive one first. Can
Mhm.
first, okay, you can see there's a gap in one person in doing his or her work, but I believe not everything is a gap. Can there could be something that is good. So perhaps you can give a little bit of appreciation toward that person, of what he or she doing good. But after that you can give, okay, I bagi you contoh, conversation. Ya dik, cie cakap dengan dik kan, contohnya kan,
Yes.
ni
Yeah, yeah,
kita
yeah.
play
Role play, role
play,
play. Boleh, boleh,
role
boleh.
play kan.
Yeah.
Macam tu. Jadi,
Uh,
I really appreciate the way you do this moderating, how
thank
you
you.
conduct the event. It's
Thank
really
you.
smooth. However, I think there might be something that you can do more. Kan
Kan,
contohlah.
betul,
Tapi I tak
betul.
kata Mr. Yadi ni ada buat any slack tak. So
Yes.
what can you do more? So instead of you say, I think you have a gap here, or I think you have not done something right here. So instead of you use a negative word to convey
Yes.
your message, you tweak it a little bit. What can you improve better? Macam itulah. It's the same in our day-to-day communication, even with children. Macam being a mother, kan, when I look at my children playing around ke apa ke, so instead of I terus macam, ni kenapa kan tak baca
Ah,
buku ke apa ke, so at least I try to emulate this culture belief. Okay, try to give a positive feedback first, appreciation, then you comfort. You sandwich with
nah.
the feedback that you want to give.
Yes, yes.
I hope
I
that
mean,
I answered that.
yeah, we hope that it answer your question, Amelia. Amelia, yes. Emilia, sorry, Emilia. All right, there's a second question coming in from in the chat box here. What is the most important skill that a graduate should have in order to be marketable in employment nowadays, Puan Siti Khadijah?
Hmm. So, skill a graduate should have in order to be marketable in employment. If if I can relate with working environment cannot cannot run from these three elements, which is people, system of the organization, and the process of how you want to deliver your work. Yeah.
Mhm.
Ini in general lah, if I can say kan, these three things: people, system, organization system, and the process of how you want to reach your target. Uh,
Mhm.
so, in order for you to be marketable, these three elements is very important for you to tackle. Let's say about people. So this is where we are talking right now. We are sharing right now. It's about communication skill.
Mhm.
Kan? It's about culture competence. Culture competence, how you manage your soft skill. Even system. When you are in a system, when you are in an organization, different organization might have different
Ways of
culture.
working.
Yeah, ways of working. But
Mhm.
how do you want to promote yourself? Kan, you want to promote yourself, to promote to the system by, for example, be encouraging in terms of communication skill, or
Mhm.
even you introduce lah, innovate apa tu, any technology kan, budak-budak sekarang semua good. In the end of the day, it relates back to the four elements that I said. You can always try to think how you want to relate back to this four SKAA. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I have a question from YouTube here, for Siti Khadijah. It's from Jess Nathaniel. If we to adapt ourselves to suit the culture competency in the workplace, should we only consider as a professionalism or otherwise?
Professionalism or otherwise
Yeah,
for the
it's just
culture competition.
yeah.
Okay. So this is just my personal opinion. When it comes when you talk about culture, uh, it's always about ways of uh, ways of life actually. Dealing with people, dealing with differences, diversity. It's just a matter of how you see it. Is it in your day-to-day situation, or you bring this topic to workplace interaction? So of course, when it comes to workplace interaction, we need to be slightly professional in dealing with this situation. But we can always use this also in our daily life. So that's my feedback on that. Yeah.
All right. I think can we have the last question? It is related to Petronas here. Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Nur Afifah from the ITM Jacob Pahang. I'm curious about the news early 2020, I guess. So I heard about explosion at Rapid Pengerang. Uh, is it going to impact the performance, and what is the solution on that?
Yeah. In Petronas, um, we have an element to evaluate any situation that we're dealing with. Okay. Okay, I just put myself as an auditor. Okay. There are always three things that we look at: governance, risk, and control. So when it comes to, for example, this news and on the explosion at the Pengerang, so there is always a risk that we evaluate. And in Petronas, we have 21 risk element that we have evaluate, which one of it might impact the performance. Other than that, reputation, financial, and many more. So what is the solution on that? We will tackle each of the risk element tu, uh, considering what are the control. So when we do our work, there is always a control. Bila you masuk kerja, first thing first that you have to know is what is my job scope of working? What is my boundary in my working environment? Is there any procedure that I have to follow? Is there any guideline, authority, regulation that I have to abide to? So these are basically the control in works that you're doing. So being yourself is a second control. People control. How do I manage an equipment? There is SOP to it. There is data sheet. Another control is the person, be ourselves. So it goes back to attitude. If there's many things in place, but the attitude of a person doesn't jive with what's the culture belief, what's the SOP say, then in the end of the day, we still can't achieve what we should. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Pastor Rija. I think we should take this one last question. It's quite interesting, and I think it's a good question from Nurul Fatiha. Hi, Assalamualaikum, Pastor Rija. I want to know, how do you keep your confidence to work along with a lot of guys? Since we all know in our community, we always have that stereotype that woman is weak. Woman is weak. So how do you handle that? Yes, I think this is what, like we discussed yesterday about the gender differences, right? So
Yeah,
Pastor
yeah,
Teja, yeah. So how
yeah.
what is your opinion on that?
So, how do I keep my confidence? Many people talk about confidence in order for you to deliver something, in order for you to execute something, we have to be confidence and confidence. Yes, we have to be confident, but in order to be confident, there must be a work that need to be done before the confidence level come. Uh, for example, like today, I'm delivering my sharing session. I have to well prepare. Can. So in order for me to be confident, I have to well prepared. I have to equip myself with knowledge, with core skill, soft skill. I have to be aware of people around me. And at the end of the day, it's about my own attitude, whether I want to take up the challenge or not. I just want to share one Arabic proverb. Uh, لا يزق man لا يزق لا يدري. Those who don't experience, okay, won't gain the benefit of things. Okay. So for example, I would say just a simple thing like you learn English professional, okay, and you are from different backgrounds, food background, medicine background, biology, chemistry background. But in the end of the day, it's about uh, taking the experience, adapting the experience. Okay. So if we don't take experience, then we don't know what benefit that we will get from there. So it's a matter about ourselves. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Siti. Okay. So I think that's all. Oh, all right. So I think that's all for the question. Okay. So now, okay. So ladies and gentlemen, yeah. Do you have anything to give like last thing to advise for these future graduates from UITM when they're going to enter their workplace for Siti Khadijah, especially because they are going for the internship later. So what is your last advice for them
Yeah. Thank you very
before
much.
they,
Mm. Okay,
yes, yes.
again, I would like to say thank you very much to UITM for organizing this event, and thank you very much for the very good participation, I would say, from the audience, even though it's Friday evening, it's Friday afternoon. When I ask question, I can see that I receive a feedback, and then there are a lot of questions that coming in. Sorry if I can't answer all, and I'm very sorry if I can't apa tu satisfied lah. My answer might not satisfy what you are actually asking, but that's merely based on my working experience and little knowledge. So I hope that whatever that I've shared today will benefit everyone of the audience and the public. Okay, I wish all the best for all of you in your next future internship and also in your career journey, and to every one of us. Okay, inshallah, I hope that this little knowledge will benefit everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Puan Siti Khadijah, for the lovely advice to all the students UITM Negeri Sembilan before they're going for their internship later on. So, ladies and gentlemen, we finally come to the end of this session. We would like to say thanks again to Puan Siti Khadijah for sharing with us on the current challenges and issues in the workplace and best practices on how to be culturally competent employee in this current time. Once Siti Khadijah, thank you for taking your time out from your busy schedule to be with us today. It has been indeed a fruitful and eye-opening, especially on the safety from the Petronas and then the culture, the culture belief of Petronas that you share with us in the session today. It is a indeed pleasure to have with you with us, Siti Khadijah. Before we end our ceremony, I would like to remind to all the participants and lecturers, we have posted our attendance link in the chat box. Okay, so there are two links for the Google form. One is for the participant, okay, general participant, lecturers and staff UITM. You can fill in the link using the general link. For ELC 650 students, you have to click on the link for the ELC 650 attendance link. Yeah. All right. So, and then before we end the ceremony, I would like to invite all the participants and lecturers to switch on their cameras for a photo session. All right. So, students, you can switch on your camera for the photo session before we end our ceremony. Dr. Patin, can you help me? All right. Students, are you ready?
Okay, for first screen, yeah. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Okay, second. Okay, that's it. No more open your camera. Only few people, so done. Thank you, Ziad.
All right, thank you, Joshi. Thank you, Dr. Fatin. All right, so I think a reminder to all the participants, please do not forget to fill in the form and of attendance, like I said just now, and feedback form that our committee members has posted in the link, posted the link in the chat box and the comment section to receive your e-certificate. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us today. And I'll see you again in the next webinar, hopefully. Assalamualaikum and have a good weekend, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.